What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi with yet another deck profile video. This time I'll be showcasing my orange deck, the deck of rocks. Let's get started. Starting, we have 3 Block Golem. This deck uses a lot of Earth attribute rocks, and this card is mainly the reason, but I can use it even with a couple of non-Earth rocks in it. Tribute it, bring back 2 level 4 rocks from the grave except itself, but you can only use it if it's all Earth. There are ways to get around this. Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. Fun name. Prevents special summoning, and if it's flipped, it destroys all special summon monsters. A lot of people think this card is more of a side deck option. I love it in the main. This deck special summons only enough, not a lot. 3 Gigantes. This card wipes out spell traps when it's destroyed by battle. Koa'ki Meiru Guardian. Tribute this card, negate a monster effect. Koa'ki Meiru Overload. Tribute this card, and you negate a summon. Koa'ki Meiru Sandman. Tribute this card, negate a trap. Koa'ki Meiru Wall. Tribute this card, negate a spell. Gaia Plate the Earth Giant. You banish 2 rocks, doesn't matter their attribute, to special summon it, or you can just tribute summon it if you want. Don't see why. But you also have to banish a rock out of your grave every standby phase of yours, otherwise this card self-destructs. And anything it battles is halved. 3 Diamond Core. This card searches out any of the Koa'ki Meiru monsters I mentioned up to this point, and it has an added effect that says you can banish it from the graveyard, and for this turn, Koa'ki Meirus are not destroyed by card effects. That includes their own. Kaiser Coliseum. This card slows down opponents to your speed, or whatever you want to label it as. They can only have as many monsters as you do. If you don't have any, then that means that they have free range. But if you suddenly summon a monster, and they have more than you, they can't play any other monsters. Period. 2 MST, of course. 2 7th one. There's a reason. 1 Bottomless. 3 Call of the Haunted. This card works great in tandem with Kaiser Coliseum. And best of all, it lets you reuse your Koa'ki Meirus. 2 Memory Loss, of course. 1 Mirror Force. And 1 Torrential. In the side, we have another Sandman. A pair of Lost Guardians. Gain 700 defense for each banished rock. It's fun to use late game if you slowing your opponent to a crawl and they just feel like attacking just because they're ticked off or something. Also works great with the 2 Mega Rock Dragons. You banish any number of rocks in your graveyard to special summon it from your hand and gain 700 attack and defense for each. It's a great setup. Also 2 Dark Hole, Therma MST, Compulsory, Phoenix Chains, 3 Rock Bombardment. This deck used to be more of a drop stun rather than a negation stun. This card lets you drop a rock from your deck to the graveyard, and you deal 500 damage to your opponent. And 1 Vanities. In the extra, I have a Giant Soldier of Steel. I barely ever use it, but it's not terrible. You detach a material to boost its defense by 1,000 defense, and if you do, you take no effect damage for the rest of the turn, and it's unaffected by other monster effects, which means it's a good defense. It's same with Soul of Silver Mountain. Great defense, can detach a material, lock a spell trap, and if it just manages to destroy something in battle, you get to special summon an Earth monster from your grave. So, you know, it's not bad. Chiron Gorgon. Detach, redirect a targeting effect. This is one of those non-Earth rock monsters I was telling you about. They're all in the extra deck, but I find ways to get around them thanks to Gigantes and Gaia Plate. Daigusto Emerald. Pretty standard what this thing does. Target 3 monsters in the grave, shuffle into the deck, and draw a card. Or just target a non-effect monster in the grave and special summon it. And that non-effect monster is Gem Knight Pearl. 2 Diamond Crab King. Think of this like an Xyz version of Giant Orc, except better. Its defense is 3,000, but you can detach a material, swap its attack and defense, and then after it attacks, it goes to defense, and its effects go back to stats go back to normal. It's really good. 2 Go 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 Goliath, obviously. Boosts your defenses, and you detach a material, and you can move a level 4 rock, Earth, from your deck grave to your hand. It's good refill. And finally, 2 Giant Hand, as well as a Giant Red Hand. The sole reason that 7th one is in this deck. I love this combo. Giant Hand can be summoned very easily, and Giant Red Hand is not a bad upgrade. Giant Hand locks down a single monster's effects and prevents it from attacking. It's like Fiendish Chain. And Giant Red Hand negates all monster effects. Actually, it's all card effects on the field for the turn, which does not prevent you from using your Koa'ki Meirus. Since it doesn't prevent their activations, their effects resolve in the grave. And that's the deck. This deck is... I honestly don't know if I'm going to keep this deck, because when the new Tyramid or Triamid or Turamid, whatever they're pronounced as, deck comes out, I may very well just end up scrapping this deck and replacing it, or I might try and mix the two together. It seems like it's possible since it's level 3, level 4 rock supports. We'll have to see. But for now, this is the deck. I love it. It actually won me a Locals a while back against full-powered artifacts, if you can imagine how long ago that was. And it's just really fun for me. I love it. This is Nanashi signing out.